So yeah, that the weekend was great. The weekend down in Florida or down in Miami, that was awesome, and getting to go down there was great, right? So now I want to talk about my woes for a little bit, chat. And I don't know where my voice is. My voice is kind of shot right now. So, but sorry about that. But I'm here. So now I want to talk about my woes. Okay. Whoa. So we drove back from Miami with Nick to his spot. We like carpooled down, and then we drove back to get our car, and then we were gonna go. Alexis's grandparents live right around Ocala, so we were gonna drive up to Ocala and spend the night there, and then drive back to Destin in the morning. Right. So here's how my trip back goes. We leave around noon, 1 o'clock. It's about a 4-hour trip, so about 5 o'clock we get back to Merckx's spot. We get in the car. We have a rental. We get in the car, and it's a lot of traffic. It's really packed, and that kind of sucks. But it's one of those. It's like, you guys know how like you get in traffic and you go like, you drive for like 20, 30 minutes and you get a mile, right? That's kind of the traffic I was in. And so we're in this traffic, and all of a sudden the car I'm driving, and all of a sudden. And just so you know, too, Alexis, she's pretty sick at this point. She's not feeling really well. And you know how Nick is also sick? I think Alexis got that too. So she was like not feeling well, a little fever, stuff like that. It was a pretty, it wasn't a good position to be in, right? It's like traffic. We've already drove 4 hours. Now we have to drive another 3 hours, right? So I'm in the car. This really sums up my luck. I'm in the car for about 5 minutes in traffic, and I get an alert on the car. And just so you understand, it's an Audi. That's what our rental is. We have an Audi, and it's not meant to be a flex. I'm just letting you, just so you understand the situation I'm in. So I'm in an Audi, right? Am I saying it wrong? Audi? That's not meant. It's an Audi. Whatever, bro. So I'm in an Audi. Whatever. You know what I'm saying. So that's the rental we have. It was really good on gas mileage and stuff. So we're like, F it. I've never driven one. Let's try it out. So I'm in the Audi, and I get an alert, and it says, hey, your back left tire is losing pressure. So I'm like, shit. What do you mean? Right? So I'm in, now keep in mind, I'm in traffic, right? Tight traffic. And now I'm getting this alert. And so in the middle of traffic, what I decide to do is I put the car in park, and I go look, like an American. I'm like, all right, I'm going to figure this out, see what's going on back here. So, I do the test. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. You walk around, you just push all the tires down. So I'm pushing the tires, and I'm like, that back left one definitely feels lighter. Like, it does not feel as pressured. So I'm like, you know what? Here's what I'm thinking, right? I'm like, you know what? Let's get to a gas station. We can, test the tire pressure out. What are you guys saying? You know how you like push in on the tire and you see what the pressure is like? I mean, what are you guys, stupid? So we do that, right? So I'm like, I'm going to find a gas station. I'm going to park. I'm going to, they'll have the air pressure thing there. So we're in traffic, and we, I'm like, all right, let's find a gas station. So I pull it up, and a gas station is about a mile away. Okay. 35 minutes later, roughly, we get to this gas station. So that's how long it took. And the whole time I'm sitting there, and I want you to understand something. You know how most cars you can find tire pressure? Everyone, you have a couple settings maybe, and you see what your tire pressure is in your car. So I can't figure out how, and I'm going to use this word, the fuck, to get the tire pressure. I can't figure it out. I am going through every setting in this car And some of it is like, oh, the car needs to be in park to, you know, in the Audi, it's like a really fancy car, right? That's a fancy car. I can't figure out the tire pressure anywhere, because if I could see the pressure, I could be like, okay, yeah, that one's 35, 35. That one's 28. So obviously that's lost pressure, right? All it keeps doing is flashing, telling me it's losing pressure. That's all it's doing. In chat, just so you guys understand, bro, I'm sitting in traffic. I've Googled it. I went into videos on YouTube. I opened the owner's manual. I was in the manual. I'm looking at the pressure. There's no fucking way to find the tire pressure in this Audi. There's no way. And it's kind of sending me through the roof. Not like, and I'm pissed. And the reason I'm pissed is because it's a tense situation, right? I'm thinking, okay, we could have a flat. We're in traffic. My wife doesn't feel well. And I'm just getting more and more pissed off the more I can't find the tire pressure. Okay? I want you to understand, I'm getting angry. That's what's happening. Okay? And just so you guys understand too, my 2014 Jeep Wrangler can tell me in 2 buttons what my tire pressure is. 2 buttons. In this Audi, it has the CarPlay, it has all this fucking cool stuff, all these bells and whistles. I can't figure it out. The only thing I found on it was like you hit a button and you went to tire pressure. It was in car settings on the thing. So I went to car settings, right? And I'm in car settings and I'm clicking around, and then I see tire pressure and I click it, and it says, do you want to like compress the tire pressure? That's the option I have. Not you would think, right? I'm trying not to yell because, you know, we're at the office, but bro, like you think you would hit tire pressure there and it'd be like, bam, there it is. And instead it's like, hey, what would you like to do? You want us to lock your pressure in, so this is your new pressure? I'm like, no, just tell me what the fuck the tires are. Anywho, so I'm digressing a bit. So I get to the gas station. This story's still going, and I want you to know it's got a long way to go. I get to the gas station. At this point, we're about 5 miles away, maybe 5 to 10 miles away from Merck's. But the traffic was so bad that it took me like an hour to get there. And all of a sudden, I don't really know what happened. Nick, he's in a really nice part of town, but all of a sudden I ended up in a not that great part of town. I don't know where I was really. I'm not too sure. And all I can really tell you is I got out of my car, and there's a bunch of people just standing on a corner, or like standing at the back of the gas station that I'm at. And there's dogs barking everywhere, like aggressively. It kind of reminded me of Grand Theft Auto. I literally felt like I just walked into Grand Theft Auto, right? Like that's kind of the part that I felt like I was at. And so I'm just kind of like, but at this point, I am so, honestly, chat, I'm so pissed off that I just don't give a fuck. Literally, that's how mad I am. That in my head, I'm like, if anyone tries anything, I'm gonna end up on the news because they're gonna get all my wrath of me trying to figure out this Audi shit. So we find this gas station. I park the car. I'm like, okay, honey, you stay in the car, lock the doors because I don't know where the hell we are, and I'm gonna try and figure this out. So I'm at the back end of the gas station, and everyone, there's a tire pressure machine. Well, guess what? It's out of service. So now, just so you understand, I was in the car for an hour. I ended up in a not good part of town. I can't find out what my tire pressure is on the Audi. All it's telling me is it's losing pressure. And then I get to the gas station to test my pressure, and the thing's out of service. So guess what? There's another gas station about 2 miles away. I get back into my car. I get back in the car, go another 2 miles, still not in a great part of town. That takes about another 30 minutes. I end up there. I get to the gas station, and similar situation, not the best part of town. I'm like, whatever, I don't give an F. I need to figure this out. I test the pressure. Thankfully, I find the machine. And this one's working. I test it, and guess what? I go to, the thing where you stick it in and then you can gauge it and it pushes out and lets you know how much pressure's in the little topper. I do the first wheel. It's about 30. I'm like, okay. So I do the one with the leak. I do it. It doesn't move. So what does that mean, chat? What does that mean? When you stick it in and then you hit the pressure and it doesn't move, guess what? It's fucking flat. There's no pressure kicking out. Do you know why? Because there was a hole in it. So here's what I found out. So I'm looking at the thing and I'm doing it and I'm like, it's not kicking out. That means the pressure's not tight. There must be a hole somewhere. I start looking around, okay? It wasn't completely flat. I start looking around. Somehow we picked up a nail. I finally found it because I didn't really, because at the other gas station, I was so pissed off, I didn't really even look for it. There's a nail in my tire in my Audi. So now, just so you understand the situation I'm in, it is 5:50. We have driven for an hour and a half from Nick's house and gotten about 15 miles in the traffic. And I need to drive another 3 hours to Ocala. And I have a nail in my tire. And now the thing is too, just so you understand, I was driving to Ocala and then I was going to wake up early in Ocala and then drive to Destin to try and figure out the internet thing with someone yesterday. Okay. So Alexis, tensions are high. If any of you, in the chat have experienced situations like this where everything seems to be going wrong, tensions are high, right? I literally am so mad that I could just, I could deck someone on site. Honestly, that's how pissed off I was. I was almost hoping someone was going to say something to me. That's how pissed off I was. I was like, please God, please say one thing. Just say one thing to me. And I was so pissed, dude. I could have, oh my God. So anywho, this whole time I'm cursing out Audi the whole time. And I'm literally I borderline had a meltdown with Audi because I can't figure out the fucking tire pressure. And then finally I figure out that it has a hole in it, right? So this gets a little better. So I'm like, okay, it's 5:50. We need to get to Ocala tonight. She's really sick. I'm really tired, but I'm going. This is all on 3 hours of sleep, by the way, chat, just for the record too. And so we call, when I'm like, all right, let's call. I was like, a light bulb goes off. I'm like, let's call the rental place. This isn't my car. I don't give a shit about this thing. Let's just call the rental place and just just swap the car out. Right? There's the thought I have. Smart. Guess what? It's 5:50. We call them, we explain the situation. We find out there's one about 10 minutes away, right? About 10 minutes from where we are. Here's what the guy says. He goes, we explain the situation. We explain everything. We're like, hey, and he goes, yeah, no problem. Just get here by 6 because we close then. And so I say, go ahead and stay open. I'll be right there. I say, you go ahead and stay open because I'm on my way, basically. So we pull into this parking lot, chat. I'm flying, by the way. I'm driving like a complete asshole because this is my only shot. And we end up flying. It was like 5:59. I pull into the parking lot and I walk in the door. I'm like, hey, we need the car. Stat. So we get to the rental place. The guy comes around. He looks at the tire. He's like, yep, there's a nail in there. I'm like, I fucking know. And he goes, well, it's pretty late. We only have one car left. And I'm like, what car do you have? And he's like, I got a Ford F-150. And it's like a 2015 Ford F-150 with like 40,000 miles on it. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Just give me it, whatever. I'm like, so I'm like, okay, let's get it. So, and the funny part, so the guy that I was talking to, he didn't recognize me, but another worker walked in and he's like, Tim, I'm a big fan. He was like, Tim the Tatman? I'm like, yep. He goes, big fan. And I'm it's hard because I tried to like put a smile on, you know, and be nice. But I was so mad he probably could see through it. I was like, thanks, man. He was a nice guy though, but I was pissed. So anywho, we get the Ford F-150 and and at this point I'm just like, whatever. So at this point it's like 6:30, almost 7 o'clock, and I still have to drive 3 hours to get to Ocala. So we still, you know, we end up getting on the road with the Ford, and we get to Ocala like 10 o'clock, see her grandparents. I literally stayed in Ocala for 5 hours. And just so you know too, chat, I just want to state this as well, just for fun. With the Ford, I clicked through some buttons and I found the tire pressure in 3 buttons. So, you know, it's kind of crazy is we really liked the Audi. We were like, man, this car's great. It drives really well. It's really nice. But after all that shit, I don't want one. So that's all I got to say about that. The Audi can suck my forehead. So I'm not, I was like, you know what, dude, I kind of like this car. Not anymore. No, I don't. So, so the story gets, I mean, that was really a lot of my woes there. There was a lot. I really feel a lot better. I feel like you guys were kind of like my therapist right there, but that was like my Monday.